All right, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? Elijah Barber here. We're going to be hosting a short little segment for you guys. Everyone's wondering in today's market, man, how can you buy deals? You know, who are the best people to work with when it comes to buying deals? We got one of my guys already here, Mr. Gabe. All right, who's literally these guys are taking over the New Jersey markets. They have access to so much inventory, and everyone just wants to get on their buyers list. So we're going to get to dive in with Gabe, and hopefully Jabbar will be joining us shortly, the Philadelphia wholesaler, and we're going to dive in and we're going to get to explore what these guys are doing, what's working for them. And if you out there and you want to buy, you want to get on their list. So it's that day. Mr. Gabe, how you feeling today, brother?
I'm feeling amazing. I just shared this to my Facebook, so my friends they can see it too. So we're going to get as many people as possible checking in, man. It's going to be a good time. It's going to be a good time, especially if Jabbar comes through.
He'll come through. He'll come through. He's probably walking his dog, but he's
walking his dog.
He got three of them, but he always comes through.
Yeah, Jabbar always comes through. He's a good man. But yeah, for those of you guys who are just now tuning in, drop it in the comment section. Say what's up. Let me know where you're tuning in from. You coming from Philly, from New Jersey? You coming from Essex County? I'm in Jersey City myself. Gabe, where you from? Where you tuning in from?
I'm tuning in from our New Brunswick office.
Boom, baby.
You're from New Brunswick, bro? I thought you were in North Jersey.
So we moved here in October.
Okay, wow.
Yeah, it's funny. We were supposed to have an office in West Orange, but unfortunately things didn't really work out with the landlord. And this place right here is a great opportunity. It's actually like a brand new building. Well, not brand new. It's an old like industrial building that they converted last year into modern office like lofts. So
oh, really?
It's perfect. Yeah, it's perfect for what we want. You know, it's like an open space where we can have like a big sales floor for our people. So the space is actually perfect for us. It's a little farther south than we wanted to be, but you know, if people want to come down and make the trip and check it out, it's an extra 20 minutes, whatever.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, you guys got to come down.
Oh, I will.
Baby, set it up.
Jabbar, we can't see you.
He's got some crazy effects on him, dude. He's got like
where's Jabbar? Where's Jabbar at, guys? Oh man.
Movies.
Doug Paul's in the building. Doug from North. Shout out, Doug. Yo, for those of you guys who are just now tuning in, drop in the comment section. Let me know where you're watching from. Okay, I want to get the nice check-in. Want to make sure we're all in tune, paying attention, and we're ready to learn because this is going to be an amazing session with Gabe and Jabbar. And I got my man Nick on here as well. So you already know, good vibes all day long. Jabbar, how you feeling today, brother?
Oh, man, I'm always doing good, man. You know, keeping busy, trying to close more deals, try to keep up with you guys.
Hey, well, I got to say, ever since you got the light, you are shining, brother. You are shining.
Jabbar always looks good, dude. Yeah, nothing to worry about.
That is so true, man. All right, so let's go ahead. All right, here we go. We got a lot more people tuning in. Joseph, what's up, Joseph? Good to see you again. Greetings from Paterson, New Jersey. Oh, yeah. All right, gentlemen, let's go ahead and get this show started. So today's event is let's do introductions. My name's Elijah. I'm going to be hosting. Nick, say what's up.
Hey, guys. What's up? How are you guys?
And we have our
it's gonna run well. That's all.
We have our two. Yeah, just so you guys know that are tuning in, this is our round 2 because during round 1, Elijah went through some diabetic stuff, but we recovered and we are healthier than ever before. And we back to just kick some butt, and everyone's here. So thank you guys for holding space. But let's get this show on the road. With that being said, as I mentioned in the title, everyone is wondering, especially fix and flip investors, buy and hold investors. They're wanting to know, what do we got to do to be able to get deals today? And who can we buy them from? Well, just to let you guys know, we have 2 of like the largest wholesalers in Philadelphia, which is Jabbar, and Jersey, which is Gabe and his company. And these guys have access to so much inventory. These guys are constantly in the markets. They're doing great work. And you guys are going to get to hear kind of, you know, how to buy deals from them, how to get on their buyers list, and kind of, you know, what their deals look like. This way, for those of you guys who are ready to buy, these are people you're going to want to sync up with. So let's go ahead and get introductions. We're going to start off with my man, workwithbar.com. We got Jabbar from Philly. Jabbar, say hello, and please give our audience, 60-second introduction to who you are and what you're all about, brother.
All right, what's going on, everybody? My name is Jabbar Fairweather. I've been in the market of Philadelphia since 1996 as a property manager for New Age, the green sign that's everywhere. I got my real estate license around 2000, 2001, and I used to buy at the time 4 houses a month myself. I worked for Drew DeMarco, who was at that time was buying 7 houses a week. And I got an intricate learning process of how everything works in a big operation and how someone could buy 150 properties a year and do the BRRRR strategy. And then what he would do is, as certain markets turned around, he'd put properties on the market and flip them. So I actually watched the whole process. I'm part of Better Than Success, which is a real estate league, about over 400 members. And we talk about real estate every Wednesday. And I've been talking about real estate every day of my life since then. And I haven't had a job since 2006. Right now, all I do is flip, sell, and move paper. That's me.
Awesome. I love that's a beautiful introduction, man. And let's go to my man, Gabriel. Please give our audience an introduction.
What's up, guys? Thanks for having me, UI. So my name is Gabriel Paolela. My company, the Moirai Group, we've been wholesaling nowhere near as long as Jabbar. We've been wholesaling since 2018. We're newbies in this place. So yeah, man, when I started in 2018, I was in college. I did not have a penny to my name. I started wholesaling with 2 of my friends, and you know, it was really a grind for the first couple deals, but you know, we reinvested the money that we made on those early deals, and we scaled our business, and you know, now we're just have been slowly doing that. We're at the point where, you know, we're the biggest wholesaler in the state of New Jersey. We're also in other markets like Atlanta and Tampa, Florida, and North Carolina. You know, we have an office here in New Brunswick with 5 employees where you know, we're doing flips. We're doing probably about 15 wholesale deals a month, and you know, just continuing to grow and learn, and you know, just be blessed every day. So that's our story, man. We'd love to connect with any of you guys. You know, get you on our buyers list, work with you guys. I know there's a lot of flippers in this particular event, so we're always looking to add to our network and just expand.
Awesome. All right, Nick, you want to start this off?
Yeah. So the reason why I want to do this event this way was because I know, like, anybody that's in the business of fixing and flipping, it's either they're looking for like properties or they're looking for contractors. And so I felt like, you know what, I know like top wholesalers in the state, in the tri-state area already. Why don't I just connect the flippers with those guys and solve that problem of looking for deals? You know, because a lot of people think like the fixing and flipping business has a lot to do with knowing how to find deals. Yeah, that is true. But there's also people that already can find deals for you that you should be working with. And wholesalers and realtors are actually both great avenues for that. People say like, you know, realtors don't have good deals. They do. It's just that by the time it probably gets to you, it's the good one's already gone, you know? And so this opportunity right here with Jabbar and Gabe is kind of like that opportunity where it's like you get the deal before it's gone. And the deal is like, I mean, Gabe and Jabbar, they're moving 20 deals or more a month total. And so it tells you how fast these things also move. And so when something does come in and you do see that it's something that you like or don't like, whatever it is, like, if you do like it, just move on it fast, because that's how fast it moves. Because that's how many people that are looking at these things, you know. So other than that, I just want to hand it back.
All right, thank you for setting that stage for us. And I think to kind of start this event off, I'd like to take it this way, and that is you guys having such, you know, a pretty tight buyers list already. And of course, you know, always open to having more conversations with new buyers that are coming into the markets. And, you know, you guys know your markets very well. What do you guys see as deals today? So what kind of deals are you guys selling? And, you know, for people that are buying it, like, what do the numbers look like? Like what kind of investor do we have to be able to, you know, go and on some of your guys' deals that you guys are doing? Let's go ahead and start off with let's start with Gabe for this one.
Yeah. So, I mean, in terms of numbers on deals, you know, I talk to people who are flipping in my market every day. You know, what I generally find is there's a huge range, right? I mean, some people want a certain percentage of the ARV. Some people want, you know, a certain ROI. Some people want a certain net return. What I find is most of the people who we work with are generally looking for deals where you're going to net $40,000 on a light to medium rehab, and that's net. That's after hard money. That's after, realtor fees, closing costs, holding costs, you have to factor all those things in. We find that that's typically about 12% of the after repair value, which makes it pretty easy for our underwriting team to calculate. So obviously, if it's a bigger project or if it's a more high end area where you're putting more money on the line, you're going to want to see people netting, $50,000-$60,000 all in. So it really depends on the project, and that's for fix and flip. Buy and hold. Now we're getting into a whole nother realm. You have certain people who want a certain cap rate, a certain cash on cash return. Some people want to refinance. So it's all just about having a deal from my perspective as a wholesaler that makes sense from at least one angle, because we have a lot of buyers. There's people who buy from so many different types of buying criteria and just ways of looking at deals that it just needs to make sense from one of them. So typically every deal that we have will be one of those things that I mentioned or another one. And if we're getting into other kinds of things like development, lots, larger multifamily, it's a whole other thing. So underwriting is it's a big task for us, and fortunately we've just been in the market long enough that we know what people are looking for.
Yeah, that's such an awesome. Go ahead, Nick.
Yeah, I want to add to that. I think Gabe pointed out something really interesting, because it's not like how it used to be where inventory was very high, and because of that, you could find deals where you're making like you follow the hard money rules, you fit into it perfectly, and they can provide you 100% financing. Today, it's more like, hey, how much money do you want to make per transaction? And then you have to at times buy for a lot more in terms of the size of the deal, because like before you were probably flipping like a $300,000 deal and you're making like 15 to 20%. Today you have to probably be doing a I would say a $600,000 deal, and you're making 12%. You're making less of a percent, but because the deal size is bigger, you're actually making the same. And but you would ask yourself, like, why would you be doing this versus looking for a $300 deal, a $300,000 deal? And the answer is because you can't get any. Right?
Exactly. You know what? Like, people will tell me when they'll tell my dispositions rep, they'll tell me when we meet new buyers, they'll say, "Hey, Gabe, I want a deal at 65% of the ARV minus the repairs," and I'll say, "Look, you're wasting your time."
Right. Yeah, the market changed.
If you find a deal like that, more power to you. But I always tell these people that if that's how you want to buy, there's nothing wrong with that. But you need to do your own direct to seller marketing, because a wholesaler would be leaving so much money on the table by selling you a deal at 65% of the ARV when there's somebody who will pay 80 to 85% of the ARV. And it's just like, unless the wholesaler is new and they totally don't know what they're doing, that's just not going to fly. So, the way that I look at it is, if you're going to send the postcards, if you're going to make the cold calls, you can get whatever you can and get those deals. And look, if you can get a deal where you're going to net six figures and it's a home run deal, more power to you. But you're probably not going to get that from a wholesaler. So I think it's important that people who want to buy deals from wholesalers, they have their expectations reasonable. We'll bring you deals that make sense. At least if it's a wholesaler that knows what we're doing, we'll bring you a deal where the ARV is right and the estimate on the repairs is reasonable. But it's not going to be like knock out of the park grand slam deals.
I would say also it's not really the wholesaler's fault. It's the market, right? Because the market right now is like on fire, and there's people knocking on your door, making these like way higher offers. So it's kind of like, yeah, you have a deal that can fit, but this guy next to you, or that's competing with whoever wants it for 65, is like, look, I'll buy it for 70, and there's a line of them. So it's like it's supply and demand, and the demand right now is so high that it makes it difficult to sell it.
And the other thing that I noticed too, because we wholesale in several different markets around the country, and in the northern New Jersey market, people make so much more money than in any of the other markets that we work in, and they're mostly Southeast markets, and it's mostly because the price points are higher, right? I mean, we're dealing with $500,000, $600,000 higher ARVs, just in regular B and C class areas, compared to another market where the other market that we're really big in is Atlanta, obviously, and the property values in Georgia are much lower. But we see people in Atlanta doing flips where they're walking out of the deal with 15, 20 grand. So, there's not a lot of room in those markets for people to make less. But in New Jersey, where people are making, 50, 60, 70 grand on a flip, there's a lot of room if it gets more competitive for people to say, oh, you know what, I'll make 35 grand, I'll make 40 grand. So, that's one reason why in this particular market, just because the numbers are so big, there's actually more room for people to stretch and still make a little bit of money. Now, that's risky, yes, but, it is what it is. There's a lot of people looking for deals.
I would also add this. No, I want to hear what Jabbar has to say after this. I would also add that a lot of people right now that are playing, it's like they're very experienced. It's either they're very experienced or they're very new. And what I mean by very experienced is like they're just trying to keep their crews busy. They're not even like counting how much money they make as a big deal anymore. They're like, hey, I got a great crew. The market's hot. I gotta keep them busy so that way, when I need them, when I run into the right deal, I can put them into that. But in the meantime, I'm just gonna make 12%, whatever it is, and and go buy. And then the new people, if anything, because there's so many of them that's buying right now. That's actually what's driving the prices up. So that makes it difficult. But other than that, it's like a supply and demand game, and it's not really the wholesaler trying to sell it for more to make more. He actually has to buy it for more as well, and then he has to sell it for just a little bit more, and it looks like it's a lot more, but it's really not.
It's the way the market is right now. So if you're not adjusting to it, you're not playing in it.
Yeah, you gotta adjust. That's it.
No, Jabbar. Thank you for that. Yeah, let's go to Jabbar. So Jabbar, for you, what are you seeing the buyers that you're working with? What are they buying right now in the market? Like, and what?
Are the metrics the same in Philly?
Well, see, in my case, what makes me different from everybody is I stick to the 65-70% rule. I just live in that world because that's what I know. And Philadelphia taxes, you could be in a property for $500 for the year, $1,000 for the year. So it's kind of different. And I only deal with investors who really are, they got deep pockets because they've been doing this for generations. You know what I mean? Family did it. The father did it. The son did it. And I help working with them. I work with the son. I've worked with the father. But I was pulling up a deal I just did. It was last year, but I'm showing the deal. It was 505 Duncannon Avenue in Olney. So we got the property. The wholesalers, I believe they got the property for $50,000. We sold it to my 50. Yeah, they got it for 50. We sold it to my buyer at 61. He put about 35 into it. He sold it for 151. Today, that property is worth $171,000. It's 3 bedrooms, 1 bath. It was a grandma property. I did another deal with him in Catherine Street. Sold it to him for 150. The house is now worth 120. He's in the property, I want to say, for 140. Yeah, I think he's going to be all in for 140 because
you sold it to him for 150?
Sold it to him for 150.
Okay.
We originally had it at they was going to be in it for 115, but he decided to do the basement, which running him about 15 grand. So he's going to be all in for about what's that? 150, 290, and the out price is 420. So that's kind of like where I live because my investors make a shit ton of money with me, 50,000 or more, because I look for the difficult deals. I deal with the difficult clients and tenants, the problems, and that's what I'm looking at now is a lot of properties with people in there that are not paying rent. People who are behind in their mortgage payments, people who are getting divorced. So what I always look for is a motivated seller, which I tell people is when you're dealing with realtors, most of the time they're looking, the house is worth $200,000, it's worth $500,000. I'm looking at it like, what do you owe on the property? What do you need to be whole? And how can I get you out your situation? And how can I be a problem solver? And people would tell me, Jabbar, I owe $50,000 on a house and I need to just move. I got to get from under this mortgage. Okay, how can we help you? I have a cash buyer that would pay you $70,000 for the property. And they'll go, all right, cool. Because what I know is my markets. I know my zip codes. I know my areas. I know how much the repairs going to cost. I do know that when you walk into Home Depot now, if you haven't been in there in about 6 months, you're going to be sticker shocked because things are now 6 to 7 times more than when they were before.
Right.
So somebody sent me 3 properties this week, and all 3 I knew what I could sell them for. They're like, we could probably sell them for 60. I said, I could get a cash offer for 50 and we don't got to show the property. And the guy's like, I said, tell the seller, this is what you can offer because the seller has tenants that are not paying. So I'm like, look, you're going to have to give a discount because someone's going to have to try to get that person out of the property. So that's what I deal with all the time, but they're mostly cash buyers. I'm probably going to do 2 to 3 deals this week just because I know the numbers like, all right, there's in North Philly. It's 3 bedrooms, 1 bath. It's going to probably be able to rent out for $1,200 or $1,100. Anything under 80 grand is a win, especially if it appraises for 130, 140. Let's get this deal done. And that's how I do things. My buyers are mostly cash. And the other part of my buyers are people who buy multiple properties every year. They're not buying just one-offs. A lot of times when you deal with flippers, you know, hardcore flippers, they're buying one property every 6 months. My guys buy every other month, depending on the deal. And I look for grandma houses that don't need a 2-month, 3-month rehab project. But when you're looking for flips in like the better areas like Mount Airy, West Philly, you got to look at it like it's going to be 3 months to get that rehab done. You're going to spend a month trying to get your licenses and permits and everything pulled, and they're going to take another month or so for the property to sell, 45 days, 30 days, even after you get it under contract. So usually when you're doing a flip, it's going to take 6 months. You know, I mean, there's very few flippers that are doing 4 or 5 flips a year, especially if they're not built like that. Especially when you're trying to get into this market, you better have a good crew and you better be able to keep them busy, because as soon as they're not busy, they're moving on to the next project. So you should mix some buy and holds with your flips, because there's been a lot of flippers I've watched fall out the game because they're doing 4 or 5 flip projects and none of them close and they have no cash flow coming in. One of the biggest developers, African-American developers in the game, LeVar, he got about 100 properties, rentals, before he started building these major apartment buildings, different things, so he can hold the note, because you have your soft costs, your holding costs. And a lot of people don't think about that. But most of my buyers have been in the game so long that they think about all this and they go, Jabbar, every 3 months, I'm gonna need a property for you. Every 6 months, I'm gonna need this property. And in between, if you find a good rental, there's a good buy and hold, call me about it. And that's what I've been doing for the past 20 years plus.
Man, I think both you guys hit on some really solid points here. And that really is, you guys know your buyer's criteria better than anyone else. And I'm just curious, like, let's say a buyer calls in, right? They want to get to know you. They want to get on your buyer's list. What's that process like? Is it like an interview? Do you guys just collect the email? Like, do you guys get to know them? What's your process when it comes to meeting new buyers who do want to buy properties from you guys? Let's start with Gabe for this one.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, in terms of how you can get on the list, I mean, we're on pretty much everything, right? I mean, Facebook, we have a website, njoffmarketproperties.com, where you can just go and just sign up to be on our list and fill out all of your information. But, you know, whether we find you on Facebook at a networking event, on our website, you know, wherever, it doesn't really matter. You know, we have a dispositions representative in our office who will give every new buyer a call and just introduce them to us and, you know, tell them about our company, find out, you know, what their buying criteria are. Are they a buy and hold investor? Do they flip? Are they a developer? What areas are they looking to purchase in? What investment strategies they're taking? So, you know, we'll find out all that information, and, you know, we really do our best to provide people deals that they're looking for, you know, especially since we're statewide now. Like, I don't want to be sending people deals in North Jersey and South Jersey, right? Because that's a totally different market. So, you know, we have a very large list, but we try to make it as personalized as possible by just, you know, talking to everybody as much as possible and knowing everybody's buying criteria and where they invest. You know, we send out a lot of deals, but, you know, there's a lot of people in our office, and we talk to everybody. If you call us, we'll answer. We'll explain any deal to any person, no matter how much experience they have. If they're new, if they're very experienced, we're open to working with everyone as long as they're qualified to purchase.
No, that's
let me ask you this, Gabe. Like, I know you guys have an updated list, and then you have a list that you blast out. Are people actually at times like when they call in, or like, I don't know if you want them to call in or how you actually want to interact with you, but I'm sure there's properties flying off that list before it actually hits the street. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, you know, and most big wholesalers, this is kind of the not so well kept secret, right? Is like, you know, they have a VIP list, right? So to speak, a list of, you know, for us, in order to get on that VIP list, it's people who've closed on more than 5 properties. And those people actually will get the deal a day early. So, you know, the only thing to do to get on that list is just buy properties from us. And we've actually had people buy properties that will say, you know what, this deal is okay. It's not great, but you know what, I want to get on that list. So I'm going to actually buy this property, and then they'll do a lot of deals. I mean, I would say we're wholesaling, you know, as many properties as you might see go out in our emails or in our text or go out on our website. That's really probably only 60% of the properties, because the other 40% on average, 40 to 50% are just going straight to the VIPs, you know, hey, you know, because I know what they buy. And, you know, if something comes across the desk, Oh yeah, no, they're real, they're closers. And, typically those people are people who will pay a little bit more, or, whatever the circumstances. One of them for us is backed by hedge fund money, so they don't really need the same type of returns on a buy and hold that, like somebody who's looking to refinance and pull all their money out would. They have a certain return that they need to give their investors, and, beyond that, it's all 100% profit for them. So, why not pay $15,000 more, than what you need to cash out all your money, because you're not even really playing with your money. Just to give you an example. Right. And somebody else that we do is a contractor, and he just has his crew do it. So, what might cost me as just a regular investor who's hiring a general contractor, what might cost me 75 grand in repairs, he's getting done for 50 grand. So he could pay $25,000 more to me as the wholesaler and, still make the same profit at the end of the day and keep his people busy.
Right. Or he's keeping his guys busy. Yep. He's making a cut. He's not looking for a home run.
Mm-hmm.
He's running a business.
Yeah. Keep it moving.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's spot on. But don't worry, even if you don't have, your own GC company, you're not backed by a hedge fund, they'll still work with you. So don't worry about it.
Oh,
right?
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Right.
All right. So for me, what I always do is this. I have my nephew just came in, and I have some dogs, so just in case you hear something.
3 of them, right?
Yes, they're all sitting there looking like.
By the way, Jabbar, wow. Nick said you were out on a walk before you came on here.
Yo, I had to walk him because I knew they'd be like, yo, he's gonna go crazy. Oh my gosh, don't have puppies. But listen, the biggest thing I look at it, like I tell everybody, if we ain't make money, don't call me. You know what I mean? If you're not ready to spend, because I'm going to call you personally and text you personally and then coach you through so you're successful. Because what I believe is, if you don't have successful buyers, they're not going to buy from you, and the well is going to dry up. In the bad market in 2008, 2009, when everything was going to shit, and all you guys were at jobs and you're hating your lives, guess what I was doing? Calling buyers, trying to find out how the hell they found out about my properties that were in foreclosure and what they were doing. And then I start making a list from there. And what I realize is, the more money you make a buyer, the more successful they'll be over the years. And they'll keep coming to you, because every time I do a deal with somebody, you become on my favorites list, and I put you on my phone and I go favorites. And they're all the people that buy properties from me regularly. And I know their areas, because my buyers tell me, hey, I like to buy in, let's say Fishtown. And I'll say, all right, well, Fishtown right now is overpriced, so let's move to the next market over. Let's be in Kensington and start going into West Kensington and buy properties, because I know where the movements are. A lot of times when people are trying to go into Brewery Town and different parts of the area, they're like, oh, this is a hot area. It's too late. Once it becomes a hot area, every wholesaler and their grandmother go, oh, you know what? In Brewery Town, it'll be $150. I used to buy in Brewery Town and sell them for $30,000 and $45,000. I remember selling Frank McGovern a property for $44,000. He knocked it down and built a four-unit apartment building on it, because he had so much room in the deal. He was able to sell it for, I think, $440,000, $450,000. You know what I mean? And I can name names, because at the end of the day, I talk and text to everybody, and to get on my list, you just got to know what you want. I tell people all the time, know what you're investing in, what areas, what's your zip codes, what's your criteria, what kind of returns you're looking, and where you're getting your money from. And then when you come to me, you say, hey, Bar, you know what? I want to get in the game. I got $50,000. I'm going to tell you, get a hard money loan. Or if you got, $200,000, I'll help you, guide you, and say, hey, for your $200,000, what's your goal? And once you know your buyer's goal by asking a questionnaire, sometimes on a website, I have a questionnaire that says, hey, what's your goal? What are you trying to do? A buy and hold, fix and flip? You're trying to buy apartment buildings. You're trying to be a part of lending money, because that's another thing that most wholesalers don't do, is start to ask their clients, like, hey, you're sitting on this $200,000 capital gains. You got to deploy it in a 1031 exchange. I could probably help you find a deal that you could put your money into, and I could partner with you so that I can help run the project, be a part, because in the back end, maybe there's 5 or 10% that I could get for helping you find a GC, find a contractor, find the property, get it done. And in 30 to 60 days, you have a finished product, and you look back and you say, damn, Bar, I made some real good money on that project. Listen, the next time I do a deal with you, hey, I'm just going to give you the 100,000 and you go off and do what you need to do. And as you're building trust with people, they will start buying properties from you just from pictures and videos, which most people fail on that, because they're only taking 2 or 3 pictures and say, yeah, screw you, just buy it because I said so. Well, that's not how I work. I might take 30 to 50 pictures and 3 videos and then send it to you and then tell you, yeah, I don't like the block. Because if I don't like the block, I'd be like, yo, look, I don't like the block. I don't like the neighborhood. This one's not for you. Then I'm being honest. You know what I mean? Because I don't want my reputation to be bad. Anywhere you go, you say Jabbar Fairweather, someone's going to smile. They'll be like, oh, that motherfucker. But they're going to feel some way because I'm going to tell you the truth. And if someone sends you a deal and you don't know, send it to me. I'll tell you, hey, these numbers don't make sense. Because here's what always happens. The greedy pig gets slaughtered. I've never been greedy. I'll go, you know what? Let's make 20,000 and keep it moving. Let's make 10 or 5. Shit, I've done a deal. We made 500 because the other wholesaler was broke and he needed the money. And I said, look, just give me 500 and take the rest and do what you need to do. And in Nick Tang's class, I gave somebody $8,000 one time from his audience. And he came up and said, Jabbar gave me a check for $8,000. Because at the end of the day, I want advocates. I want people to say, when I hear that name or I see work with Bar, that's the dude you need to work with. Because at the end of the day, for the last 20 years plus, I've made sure everyone's successful. And if you're on my buyers list and I call you or text you, I'm texting you a deal that makes sense and it makes money. And that's what the name of the game is, a long play. Now, like I always tell people, if you're in a short game, you're going to wholesale to the day you die. Well, that's good for you. But guess what? My thing is you want to use everything in your toolbox to grow, to start buying your own properties, to do buy and holds, to do flips, to do apartment buildings, to do development deals. And I want to be that person as you're growing down that list that you're constantly coming back to and saying, hey, Bar, what do you got for me?
Yep. That's such a solid point. And so this kind of leads me to my next question. What kind of relationship do you guys prefer to have with your buyers? Is it more of just where, you shoot that text message, you send them the pictures? I know, Gabe, you guys do like I'll let you talk about how you guys kind of capture all the data of your properties and send them out to buyers. But like, do you guys do partnerships with them? Is it more of just like, here, I'll send you a deal, pay me a fee for it? How do you guys like to structure your relationship with your partners? Let's keep it on Jabbar for this, and then we'll go to Gabe next.
So most of my buyers are my friends, to be honest with you guys. I don't have, and I don't care to make new friends who don't understand that this is a relationship business. You know what I mean? Most of the times, even when keep it 100 with you guys, when shit was hitting the fan, I had buyers who was like, Bar, I'm just going to buy this property from you so you can make some money. How much do you need? And they would just send me money for deals that didn't exist. So imagine that shit. Imagine when COVID happened, people were buying properties from you that didn't exist so that you could say, yo, you could pay your bills. Because when shit's fucked up and no money's coming in because you can't close with the city of Philadelphia, I had a buyer who was like, Bar, I'm just going to give you $1,500 a month on these 3 deals that don't exist, prepay you. And I was like, all right, cool. Because they're my friends and they're people that I've developed and known for years. And so when people call me up and they have issues or problems, I help them out and they can say, hey, Bar, can you wait here for me for this investor or this contractor or, the appraiser's coming through? I'll go out my way to make sure because those are what kind of relationships I want. I talk about the Eagles. I talk about the Sixers. I talk about relationships, girls, women, whatever the case may be, my buyers. And I've learned that there's more women in the game now that are aggressive, that are like, yo, I need a deal. Let's make this shit happen. My boyfriend, he's a bum. I don't care. I'm buying some property. You know what I mean? My husband.
Your boyfriend bum, huh? Jesus.
You know what I mean? They like, look, he's on this side, but at the end of the day, I'm gonna be on the left side. And you start to see they have their own groups. They have their own little support groups. And I'm good in every support group because I look at it like, how can I help you be successful? And at the end of the day, that's what it all comes down to. My conscience is, I don't talk to people that I don't trust, know, like, and trust. And if you deal with somebody you don't know, like, and trust, you're a fool. Because at the end of the day, something goes wrong, they're going to sue you. Something happens, which most wholesalers don't think about in this game is that if you lie to the seller, you lie to the buyer, and something goes wrong, you are liable. And now in Philadelphia, you have to have a wholesale license. And now in Philadelphia, wholesalers are not looked like as champions or heroes because people make us out to be bad guys, even though we're the ones helping people that are stuck in $25,000 properties that realtors don't market to because they're like, oh, it's a shitty neighborhood. I'm going to make $500. It's not worth my time. Well, that's where I live in, is those areas that really need the most help. And there's so many opportunities to help people actually get out their situation because I was in those situations. So all my buyers, 90% of my buyers, I could call right now and go hang out with them, go to the movies, go play top golf and bust their ass. Elijah.
Except for Elijah.
You know what I mean?
Just to let everyone know, I have video proof of me and Jabbar playing top golf. I'm just gonna put that out there.
Same here. And I got the score. I got the winning score.
Anyway, back on topic here. So it seems, Jabbar, that your main thing is, first of all, you're open to any type of relationship, whether that's partnerships or lending or helping out any way. But the most important thing for you is really understanding each other's goals, having that tight relationship. This way you can continue to do business over the long term. Is that correct?
Correct. Because guess what? In a down or up market, see, everybody eats when the trees are, the rain's coming down, but in the desert, some people going to starve. And if you don't know how to shift your marketing, you don't know how to move to, better zip codes or where there's more profitability, then you're going to get stuck. Because when people call me like, oh, I just want to buy in the Northeast. Okay, great. If I get a deal in the Northeast, I'll let you know. And they'll be like, oh, Jabbar, you haven't sent me a text message in 4 months because I ain't get a deal in the Northeast that makes sense. And then when I send them a deal in the Northeast, they go, oh, that's overpriced. Well, what do you want me to do? You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, you have to know that there's certain shifts in the market and different zip codes are up and down certain parts of the year. And then also certain marketplaces are more intelligent sellers. So they'll look and say, I'm gonna list my house with a realtor. I don't need to use a wholesaler, which is fine. But as a wholesaler, you got to know like, all right, this is a referral to a realtor. So if I have friends that are buyers who are realtors, guess what I do? Hey, this property is not going to work for me, but I'm going to give you the alley-oop to go list this property for sale, which I did on the property on Rod Avenue. The guy walked in. He said, I want 150. I said, where'd you get that number from? He said, oh, that's what my neighbor sold his house for. I said, your house is not worth 150. We can't even walk down the steps. There's no steps. You know what I mean? Like I said, my offer is 60 grand. He's like, what? I said, look, I could give you 60. That's what I could give you. I got a realtor next to me. She could list your house for $85,000 or $80,000. We see what happened. I think your number is going to be 80. He ended up getting $84,000 for his property. It just closed the other day. But that's part of knowing the marketplace, knowing your numbers, creating those kind of relationships where you bring other people who at any part could be the buyer, but then also put your realtor hat and then switch up real quick and be like, all right, well, you know what? I can list the property for sale because the numbers don't work for me either. But here's the option. And the part that you have to always start with, if you want to make money in any business, you have to be that person who's helping the person with their problem, whether it's the seller or the buyer. Because I tell people all the time, if you die tomorrow, all the money in the world is not going to help you get into heaven or hell, whichever way you want to go, if you believe or not. But what I believe is you do good, you will receive good. And if you're a positive person, you're going to attract people towards you. You're going to attract the right buyers. You're going to repel the wrong buyers. Because when I tell people, hey, I'm not going to waste your time and send you some bullshit, they know like, oh, Bar called me. Let's pick up. What's up, Nick? High five.
It's been 6 minutes, bro.
I know, man. Hey, listen, I got a lot of energy.
I know. We got to also give time to Gabriel. And I don't want to keep you guys that long. Plus, you got the 3 dogs to walk. So,
all right. Really quickly, Eli, repeat the question.
The question is what kind of relationship do you prefer to have with your buyers? Like, do you guys do, partnerships? Is it more of just where you text them or you email blast it out? Like talk to me about kind of the relationship that you guys like to have with your buyers. And are you guys open to partnerships and stuff?
Yeah, I mean, we don't really, like if there's a deal that we're wholesaling, we're typically not open to like staying involved in the deal, like on a joint venture standpoint, just because, we're doing our own flips and, we have our own projects going on. So, it doesn't really make sense. We would actually be open to it if it was like a bigger development deal and you wanted to partner with the developer, but that's about it regarding that. Regarding the relationships that we have with our buyers, we've built up so much credibility in this market, and we close every deal that has the ability to be closed. Nobody closes 100%, but we do just about as close as you can. So they trust our transaction team. When we need to get the temporary certificate of occupancy for them, they trust us to use a title company that will get everything done and get it done quickly. They trust us to we're scheduling a lot of these things for them. The appraisal for their hard money lender. Getting their contractors in with the seller. If it's a buyer that we're doing a deal with, they have all of our personal numbers. They're, able to reach out to us, contact us with any kinds of questions or concerns. One thing that I did kind of want to talk to you guys about, and this is what we do nowadays. We started this once COVID started, but we get Matterport 3D virtual tours for every single property that we're wholesaling. We don't do in-person showings anymore. Especially we started when COVID happened, and it just worked out so well that even when the concerns about the virus started to die down a little bit, we kept doing this. So we'll lock up a deal under contract. We will get our Matterport guy in to do the Matterport 3D virtual tour. And for those of you guys who aren't familiar with Matterport, it's a virtual tour software that you can basically walk through every inch of the property in high definition. You can take measurements of everything. It's really just like walking through the house in person. It's really, really good. So we send that out to everybody. So people were typically making us offers without even going inside of the property, because they have the 3D Matterport virtual tour. And if you want to buy properties off of us, that is something that really helps you out. If you can just look at the Matterport and say, this is what I can pay for the property because I already know what it looks like on the inside. I'll drive past the outside to see what it looks like. Because nowadays, especially with the virus, man, it's so difficult to get, a lot of people inside a property to see it. I think what Jabbar talked about is really awesome about how he just has such a good connection with his buyers that they don't even need to go see it. They just trust him enough. That's a really great business model for somebody that's been in the game as long as Jabbar has that much credibility. But, most wholesalers, that's not the case. They're newer in the industry. They don't have a ton of construction experience. So, the buyers don't necessarily have that same type of relationship. I have that relationship with, maybe 3 or 4 people, but the vast majority of the people on our list, they know us. They know that we're a credible company. They know that we do a lot of business, but it's not like, well, I'm just going to take your word for it. So we do provide them those virtual tours. We prefer phone calls. Like if you get a text, then you're interested in the deal, give us a call. Let's have a conversation about it. So that way I can hear you on the phone. I can read your tone of voice, just how you're talking, what your tonality is, so I can tell if you're serious about the deal, because, it's very easy to tell if somebody is like a ball buster or if they're actually somebody that's going to seriously perform on a property. At least with the level of experience that I have, which isn't that much, it's pretty easy to tell. So, if you just you come right, you're ready to do things our way. If we have a deal that you want to buy, if you're serious and you can work quick, 9 times out of 10, you get it.
Awesome.
I love it. Nick, anything final?
Let's do this. I think we should let people do Q&A.
Guys, by the way, post your questions. Whatever questions you guys have, post them now. Go ahead, Nick.
And then while we're waiting, I think we should give out, a way to contact you guys.
Well, I got to say, Claire just tuned in. She said, great talk. Would love to be added to the wholesale list, baby. Come on. Yeah, so by the way, guys, keep posting your question. Drop them in the comment section. We have like another few minutes with these guys. How can people be added onto your guys' wholesale list in the markets that you guys are in? What's the best way for that?
So Eli, in the private chat, I just put the, you already had it. Wow. Boom.
I got you.
There's our website, njoffmarketproperties.com. You can go on that website, fill out all of your information. You will get email and text updates of every single deal that we have as they become available. And then also hit me up on IG.
Here we go. By the way, I got you, Jabbar. I put the New Jersey offmarketproperties.com in the comment section, so you guys will be able to pin that down there as well. And up next, if you want to be added to Jabbar's list, Jabbar, where do they go, brother?
You can go to workwithbar.com, or you can just call me 267-975-6801. Listen, I've been doing this game for so long. My number has not changed. So just text me who you are. I always tell people, send me a text. If you call me, you're like everybody else who be trying to sell me something. What I always like to do is, like, if you've come across a deal and you need help with that deal, you don't know what to do. The deal I'm doing tomorrow is literally a deal with some realtor who didn't know what to do, and they had a wholesale property, and I said, look, I can help you get to the closing table. And that's really what I do, because I'm more personal with people. I want to hear your voice. I want to know what's going on, but there's a proper process. Hey, I buy in this zip code. I'm looking to flip. I'm looking to buy and hold, to do the BRRRR method, which is buy, rehab, refinance, rent out, repeat, and, I'm here for the long haul. You know what I mean? So that's why I can give out my cell phone number, because guess what? I'm not hiding from anybody. I don't do deals with people I don't like. And what I mean by that is, greedy people, keep your money. I'm going to be around longer than most of you guys will ever be in this industry. But guess what? It's a part about being like Nick Tang and Elijah and Gabe, and being in this game with a plan, having equity. Have that, hey, I work a full-time 9 to 5, and then I'm trying to get out. I need to make 15 grand. So I probably need about 25 rental properties, or I need to do at least get to the point that I could do 3 flips a year, or every quarter have a deal on the market. So I'm here.
I want to just say you're crazy, because there's like 200-300 people listening.
Hey, listen, I'm here for the smoke. Listen, I tell people all the time, you want fucking deals from me, be up my ass. People are like, oh, Bar, you up my ass. I call fuckers 3-4 times a day to get deals done. They be like, Jabbar, listen, I've done deals where it took me 2 years to get the seller to agree.
He's speaking facts right there.
You know what I mean? At the end of the day, guess what? After the 2 years, me and him are homies. We talking about Carson Wentz getting traded, about Embiid. Yo, let's go to the game together. Like, you know what I mean?
You guys are on here because you guys are real, like, legit,
real players,
genuine, long-term like people. That's why I had you guys on here versus like anybody else.
Yeah, like I always tell people.
I got more questions. I'm ready. Come on, baby. All right. Someone asked, do you guys know of a good title company, investor friendly? You guys want to give a shout out to any title companies real quick?
Where?
Solutions. I use.
He didn't specify New Jersey or Philly, one or the other.
Philly is Prosperity. I think they do Jersey. I definitely shout out to Heidi. She's definitely been good. But I've used everyone. Quick Abstract. I think it's Keisha. Oh man, I'm trying to think. I think Abstract Solutions. There's so many.
Two's more than enough, man. You're doing great.
So Quick Abstract,
any
Prosperity, and then Heidi. She's good to talk to because she's also an investor. One of the things I always tell people, do business with people that do what you do. So if you're going to do business with a title company and the owner of the title company, the clerks that have never bought or sold a property, you're going to have hell to pay with because they don't know what the hell wholesaling is. They don't know how to smooth everything over with the seller. So make sure, ask and question everybody that you do business with and get a feel for how long they've been in the business. Do they understand the transaction and what you're trying to accomplish? And the same thing goes for sellers.
We got you, Jabbar.
No, my bad. Let's go.
Gabriel, any title companies in Jersey you'd
I'll
like to shout out?
keep it short. Clear Skies Title.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go. And by the way, German wanted New Jersey, so there you go. German, it's Clear Skies Title for
guys,
Jersey.
We do know title is one of the most important things in this transaction.
We know
we can't make title companies seem like that's not an important question because guess what? It's like having a car with no oil in it. It ain't going nowhere. So if you don't have the right title company, you ain't going nowhere as a wholesaler. And I've sat there and had companies screw up your deal because it takes 2 months for them to get this shit to close.
That's it. All right, next question. Is there, by the way, Denise said she signed up on Gabriel's list and they want your phone number again, Jabbar. So wait a second, Jabbar. Let's answer this question first. Is there an opportunity to do an inspection when your guys' properties come available? Gabe?
So in short, no. You have the virtual tour of the property and, the assignment contract has certain contingencies in it that protects you from things that you wouldn't be able to see in the Matterport, like, latent structural defects. There's a contingency for, soil contamination from an underground oil tank. There's major things like that you have contingencies for. So, that kind of forgoes the need for an inspection. You can see the whole property top to bottom through the Matterport virtual tour. It's like you're walking through the house. For the very few things that you wouldn't be able to see through the tour, you have contingencies for those in the contract where, if such was the case, if there was a latent structural defect, if there was soil contamination, you would essentially be able to walk out of the deal and get your earnest money deposit back. But that's what I would say about that.
Stuff, right.
Yeah, crazy stuff, and you probably, I don't know if you've seen, Denise, one of these Matterport virtual tours, but the technology is amazing. I mean, you literally can walk through the house and it's like you're doing it on your computer. And what I always tell people, when we used to do showings, people would walk through the house, they would get about 10 minutes to go through before the next guy had to come. And you look at everything once and you try to, maybe take a few photos and everything's in your brain and our brains aren't perfect. We forget shit, right? But with the Matterport, you can go through that house 50 times and look at every little nook and cranny of everything. So between that and the contingencies that you do have in the contract, that kind of makes up for the need to have an inspection. I don't know if you mean a home inspection or if you mean just walk through it yourself to, go inspect it. Right. But, that's how we handle things on our end.
Yeah, you answered both of them, man. So thanks. Jabbar, do you do inspections for your properties?
All the time. I'm meeting someone at properties tomorrow.
60 seconds, Jabbar.
Oh my gosh. Trying to keep Einstein down, man. Shit. Go to your school. Basically, though, no, I'll meet somebody at the property. I'll have a contractor. What I do is I'll kind of have my contractor give me an idea what he thinks the price is. A real contractor that's licensed to shore. No one's grandfather or uncle's brother, sister, mother's daughter's son that doesn't know what the hell he's doing. I'm usually at between somewhere around $60 to $75 a square foot. I usually tell people you can go off that and use it as a range. So if you want to use a flip, $71 or $75 a square foot, give you an idea.
Inspections, Jabbar. Are you allowing them to do inspections?
I'm allowing them to educate themselves before they call me and ask me dumb questions. So I'm answering the question with giving some information, Elijah. You're not the one who gave your cell phone out. Stop being a punk and give your cell phone number out. So I don't want people calling me asking me a dumb question like, how much you think it's going to cost to do this rehab? Shit. But yeah, no, I usually meet them at the property. I have a contractor meet somebody at the property so that they can go with someone who knows what they're doing, unless they have their own contractor. So I do let them go, whether it's a lockbox or I have the key. Usually I'll get the key and say, hey, you know what? I'll open the door for you. If you have any questions after you look at it, let me know, because I don't want any backlash someone buy a property and just the day before closing have some regrets. I always tell people go into the basement, know what the heating system look like, the furnaces and everything else, the beams, or something. So yes, I do allow them to check the property out.
By the way, Jabbar, I have 4 to 5 comments that says, Bar, you are a fast talker. What's your cell phone number again? But guys, you guys can just go to his website, workwithbar.com, and you can have all of his information, right, Jabbar?
There you go.
All right, guys. Let's get.
I think we're good with questions, bro. Or if you want to do just one more, that's it.
Yeah, let's
I see a lot, but I don't keep these guys. I told them it's only like 45 minutes.
Hey, listen, I'm good, man. I ain't got no job. What y'all talking about?
You got 3 dogs that you're supposed to walk.
They can walk 34 hours. Listen, they sleep right now. So while they sleep, I'm good. It's like having babies.
All right. Got this. So let's do 3 more questions and we'll call it a wrap. So Joseph says, are you guys finding deals via social media at all today?
Yes.
No, that's lead generation.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's it. I mean, yes, I do a lot.
Focus on getting deals from them.
Okay, go ahead.
What areas in Philly are still good to buy that aren't very expensive?
Only parts of West Philly, Southwest, West Oak Lane, West Oak Lane, Germantown. You're gonna make about 40, 50 grand on your flips. Sometimes even 65 after everything's said and done, because people are still, and Logan. Most people don't know Logan. Logan is doing some real numbers right now. So that's 4-1 also. So
hot markets right there. Look into it.
They out of Strawberry Mansion. They got a lot of rules and regulations going on. I got a deal now. Someone sent me a Strawberry Mansion. He wants 100 for a shell, and the comps are 160. I said that doesn't make sense. I offered 45, 50 if I get it. But most of these people now are going crazy because you have to be able to get your money back out.
That's right. All right. Next question from Joseph. Oh, I love this question. All right, gentlemen. When you get too many buyers interested in one of your deals, how do you select the buyer? Do you do highest and best ? Let's go with Gabe for this one to answer this to start off.
Sure. So we don't do asking price. We do what's called a buy now price. That is a buy it now price. First come, first served. So this happens a lot. We'll have multiple people who want to buy a deal at the buy it now price. And, we don't do bidding wars because I want to make sure that the deal makes sense.
You have to make money. Yeah.
Right. We'll see how people are financing. If there's somebody who's financing all cash versus a hard money offer, it's not much of a decision for me from that perspective. It's a combination of things, right? We obviously it's who's serious, right? Like who's ready to put down that deposit? Who knows? It's part of it is just our overall feeling about the guy, right? Like if you call and you're shady, when somebody else calls and they're, very clear, concise, they know what they want. I mean, that person's going to get the deal. It's just, sometimes it's a little bit of luck too. I can't lie. It's a little bit of luck sometimes. Now, I'm trying to think if there's like any other good tidbit.
No, that's great.
I can say really quickly. I guess keep your eye on your email, man, because especially if it's a really good deal, if it's in a hot area, we have deals go in like an hour.
Yeah. Thanks, Gabe. All right, Jabbar, what about for you?
I just had this happen the other day. We had a deal I sent to one of my real buyers for 115, and he said he had to look at it. And I said, "Are you sure?" He said, "Well, don't take any offers until the next day." So 9 a.m. the next day, we went to go look at the property. I had 6 of the buyers walk through. And I had told him, I said, "Listen, I'm telling you from what I've seen and what I know, this property is a good deal." And one of my guys came through. I did a FaceTime with him, and he said, "Bar, I want the property." I said, "Look, because I got so many buyers come through," he said, "Bar, what is it to take this house?" And I said, "Well, look, we were asking 115, but if you could do 120, the house is yours." He said 120. And actually, we end up getting he actually did 121 or something like that just to cover something. And that was it. But once I shook his hand, the deal was done. You know what I mean? A lot of times I look at cash and I'd look at the person. Do I need to worry about them doing the work? If they have their own crew, then 9 times out of 10, I'm going to go with the person with their own crew, because then I'm not getting a call later that they didn't know how much it was going to cost to do the rehab, or they were backing out the deal. And also deposit. What I think Gabe would also say is, depending on how much money someone's going to put down, when I was buying properties, when everybody else put down $1,000 or $500, I'd put down the whole cost. Sometimes I had my cousin put down 75 grand. We were buying a property for 75 grand, because no one's more real than that. you're buying a house for 75, you put down 75, and that's how I beat out a lot of properties on REOs. So if you're doing an REO, minimum you should put down is 2,500, and on wholesale deals, people put down 5,000 to 10 grand, and whoever's putting down the most deposit money is usually going to be the most serious person.
Yeah, that's true, man. All right, Joey says, Gabe, Clear Skies want you to disclose your fees to sellers. What are you doing for that?
Joey, I'm gonna have to talk to you about that offline.
Okay, perfect.
I don't want to get into any trouble.
Yeah, good idea. All right, guys. So let's do this final question here. So, what do you guys see being good opportunities coming over the next 6 months to a year in your current markets? Where do you guys see the opportunity lie?
Well, the opportunity for me in Philadelphia, for most people, are going to be commercial properties and multifamilies, because a lot of these landlords are not getting the rent money. A lot of commercial properties are empty right now. So the opportunity for most deep pocket investors. Now, for everybody else, I would start buying and holding properties now in areas that might come up surrounding the zip codes. So if the hot area, let's say, just take Brewerytown, for instance. Brewerytown was a hot area. It still is. And the houses were going at one point for 125. And then you had Strawberry Mansions, which was one zone out, or one zip code out. Not Strawberry Mansion, Sharswood. And then after that became Strawberry Mansion. At that time, Strawberry Mansion was going for 25 grand, 18,000. Now those same properties are going for 125. So I would put a dot at the hot area and go one ring out, or one zip code out, or two rings out, and start buying, hold in those areas. So then in 1 and 2 years, when the market switches, you can now flip those same properties. And since you've hold it for over a year, you're not paying the same taxes, and in opportunity zones. I would also look for properties that are in opportunity zones because of the tax benefits. After 6 years, you have a step up. We don't have to pay full price on the tax. And then after 10 years, you pay no federal. So opportunity zones would be my number one thing for people, because that's going to extend out, I think, to the year 2037 or 2047.
Bottom line is, if you're in the Philly markets, you got to connect with Bar. Go to workwithbar.com. Gabe, what about you? What do you guys see as the big opportunity for your guys' company and just buyers in general? What do you see?
So, especially in the last 2 to 3 months, we have seen a lot of properties of struggling landlords. So people, especially with properties who are not paying rent, like the tenants are non-performing. Just to give you an idea, we have a deal in Newark right now, a live deal. Someone could hit me up after this and buy the deal right now. It's a 2-family on the west side of Newark. It is a turnkey property. It was fully gut renovated in 2008. So it's not granite countertops or anything, but the plumbing is fine. The roof, everything is good. It's a turnkey rental. Market value probably 320 to 330. We're wholesaling it for 220 now. I'm sorry, 230, and there's non-performing tenants. So you're buying this property with $100,000 of equity, but you have to deal with non-performing tenants. So, if you're a person who has money, maybe you have other investments, you have other rental properties, and, being in the red on a new property that you buy for the first, 3 to 4 months of owning it, maybe even 6 months, that's not going to kill your bottom line, and you want that equity, that's an amazing opportunity for somebody. And there's a lot of opportunities like that to purchase properties for pennies on the dollar from landlords who just can't keep up. The forbearance for them is just the amount that they're going to have to pay when the forbearance ends is just getting higher and higher and higher and higher. And I think at the beginning, a lot of people just thought that they would be able to wait it out. Originally with coronavirus, it was like, a couple weeks to stop the spread, and people thought it was going to be temporary. But now that these things just keep getting extended, the eviction moratoriums and all these things, whatnot, I think a lot of landlords are coming to the realization that if you have non-performing tenants, you're going to have to dump the property. So that is where we've been finding a lot of opportunities. So I know deals like that are not for everybody. That's for people who have a little bit more liquidity and people who are willing to take that short-term hit in order to get that long-term equity. But that's where we've been seeing a lot of opportunities.
Awesome.
Great. Nick, anything else?
That's it. Let's wrap it up. Let's give these guys a hand. Thanks so much, guys.
Let's give them a hand. Everyone at home, put your hands together. Put your hands together for these fine gentlemen here. We appreciate you guys. This is another event brought to you by New Jersey, Philadelphia, and New York Real Estate Investors Association. It's been an honor. It's been a joy. I personally learned a lot. I got my notes. And gentlemen, I appreciate you guys' time. You guys have provided so much value to our community. And, for those of you guys who want to get on these guys' buyers list, reach out to them, start building that relationship. And we'll definitely see you guys in a few weeks on our next event. All right. We'll see you. Peace.
Yep.
Let's go. It's JV. Let's get something going.
Everyone says love it. Thanks, guys. Gabe, I have interest in the 2-family in Newark. Sounds like a pretty good deal. There you go. Reach out to him, Win. All right, guys. I'm ending this. We'll see you. We'll see you.
Peace, bro.
Jersey, top